One of the things I love is interacting with my elders. Just a couple of days ago, I talked to a gentleman who celebrated his 60th birthday a couple of days ago, and he should have been happy about this because that's quite a milestone. Those of us who haven't gotten there yet surely hope to get there one day, but he was down. And the reason why he was down is because the night before I talked to him, his son, his adult son, who lives about 2.5 hours away, who works a lot, doesn't get much time off, actually took the time off to come down and spend it with his dad so he could be there. They could celebrate his 60th together. What a good son. Very considerate of him to do that. However, the gentleman, he has a girlfriend, on and off type of situation for, according to him, about 20 years. They've been playing this hokey pokey dance with their relationship, such as it is. And she's got a whole grocery list of mental issues, not to mention a history of substance abuse problems. And so he was forthright enough to say that once upon a time they did those substances together. I can't say because YouTube is very, very problematic with certain words, but these are the kinds of substances you have to inject into your veins with a syringe, and I'll let you figure out what I'm talking about. But he has been clean for years. She's been on and off the wagon for the past decade or so, but he loves her, and he's a victim of the sunk cost fallacy, which normally has a place in economics, but in relationships it fits as well, because what happens with the sunk cost fallacy is I've put so much time into this particular stock or this particular business, or in this case, this particular woman, and I can't sell it. I can't sell this stock, even though it's done nothing but depreciate. I can't sell this business because I started it and I got too much pride that selling it would look like failure to the folks who didn't believe I could start the business in the first place anyway. Or in the third case with this woman, you put in so many years of your life with this woman, and maybe the sex is good or whatever the case may be, and for whatever reason you don't have the strength to walk away. Despite the fact that, and I mentioned his son a moment ago, his son lives hours away and rarely ever comes down. But he came down to see his dad, which is great, and they had a good time. But she, who lives about 5 houses down the street, across the street from him, saw a car, in this case an F-150 truck, in the driveway she didn't recognize. So immediately she's blowing his phone up. Who was that over their house? What bitch is that in your house? Beating on the door like the police with a warrant, just going crazy. When he finally came to the door to explain what was going on, she smacked him across the face. Struck the man. No explanation. No real legitimate reason to do so. Just lashed out with her hands against him. Just lashed out. Didn't want to hear the fact that his son was in there. Just automatically assumed the absolute worst, that another woman was in there and he was getting it in with her. That's the only possible option in her so-called brain. He's telling me, after the fact of all this, that she has a history of inherited mental problems. Her father, who's now deceased, was schizophrenic, and her mother, who's also deceased, had a history of bipolar disorder. That's a hell of a witch's brew to make a child with in terms of DNA inheritance. But man, what a situation he's got himself in with this woman, who compounded the problem by self-medicating with street pharmaceuticals. And you understand how bad this gets and how bad it can get in the future. So he asked me, what should he do? Because he values my opinion. He knows about the channel, and he knows that I try my best to help men of all ages, and the boys who will one day be men be better than they were before. My advice to him was very simple. I said, you're invested in this woman. You literally actually care about her. You care for her, and you want her to be better. You want her to be well and do well, and the two of you together can be awesome. But it's long since time to cut bait, my friend, if she's putting her hands on you. And the only reason she's doing it is, well, there's 2 reasons. I apologize. The first reason is because she knows society at large can't wait to run to her aid if you ever hit her back. This old woman who's all strung out on stuff I can't say on YouTube, even with that, she'll still have the lion's share of all sympathy from folks who are outsiders looking in who don't know the story. That's number 1. And number 2, she knows that you care enough about her that you let her get away with it. Because I refuse to believe that was the first time she hit you, to which he nodded in agreement that it wasn't. That's some seriously powerful leverage over her behavior and over you. But also, you got to cut her loose, because a woman only respects a man who's prepared to walk away from her bad behavior, especially when you consider 100% of a woman's bad behavior is entirely on purpose. So what happened later on? Well, apparently the son came from deep within the house to the front door after hearing all the noise and screaming and shouting going on. She recognized the son, even though she hadn't seen him in forever, because again, the guy works a lot and he's hours away. She recognized him, and so immediately it wasn't, "I'm sorry for hitting you, I'm sorry for jumping to conclusions." Now the story was, "Well, your son must have brought some girls over here with him so y'all could share." Wow. Accountability, fellas, is quite truly kryptonite for the modern female, or even for a woman her age, still modern minded, which is just as useless. I told my friend, well, we're acquaintances, but I have a lot of soft spot in my heart for him, because he's a good guy trying to be better than he was yesterday. He put the drugs behind him. He's trying to be a better person, and that's all we can really ask for from anyone. But what you don't have to put up with is the bad behavior of a woman who brings nothing into your life but turmoil. This woman is still playing around in the streets, and with fentanyl everywhere, it's only a matter of time before her dealer, who she might trust, and most junkies trust their dealer for whatever reason, because he's always bought her a good product before, I imagine. I don't live in that world, but that's the story that I've gotten. My dealer always brings me the good stuff. Why would he change up now? Well, if he's got too much fentanyl and can't move it, he just might start slicing and dicing in terms of the stuff he gives you. So an OD is probably on its way, and I hate to see it, hate to say it, hate to even think it, but we got to be honest about this thing. And who's walking around with, I think it's called Norcan, I think it's called, in their back pocket, just in case they take the wrong stuff? Not everybody does. We're not all paramedics. So to my friend and to you guys, I guess the moral of the story is, if there's a woman in your life and you've been with her for a while, and you've taken so much crap from her because maybe you didn't put your foot down early enough, and she's, as a result, has begun to run roughshod over your thoughts, over your feelings. Your dominions have been kicked over, and she's taken a sledgehammer to the brick walls that should be boundaries she should never even lean up against, let alone breach through. If there's someone in your life, friend, family, or coworker, but most especially a romantic partner, who's making demands of your time, demands of your energy, demands of your money pointed in their direction, if you have someone in your life who is that callous and who is so determined to disregard what's important to you, then you have to discard them and never look back. There is no apologizing. There is no making amends. That's between you and God Almighty. But you and I are done. Don't call me. Don't text me. Nothing. You go your way and I'll go mine. Now, in my friend's case, the challenge for him is he quite literally lives 4 doors down and across the street from this woman. And they've got history. Throwing away 20 plus years, I can't imagine it's the easiest thing in the world to do. I can't imagine he's looking forward to it. But in his heart, I'm sure he knows that I'm right. Because even if he spends the rest of his life alone from this point forward, he's still better off than spending one more second with a woman who does not respect him, who disrespects him so highly that she's willing to smack him across the face on his own porch with his son just a couple rooms away down the hallway, even though she didn't know at the time. If she's that free with dishing out physical violence against her partner, what's to say she won't grab a knife next time? Or a, long-range supersonic lead spitter that the Second Amendment grants us access to? Who's to say? Who's to say she won't be drinking out of a Corona bottle and smash it across the kitchen counter and use that as a weapon? Nobody can. Because if she's got schizophrenia and BPD and those street chemicals in her system, who can truly guess her next move? It probably won't be donating to the Goodwill. Certainly not volunteering at the Salvation Army. Oh no, it's going to be destructive, and it's going to be focused on you, the man she no longer respects, because she understands, even in her subconscious, you should have thrown her away a long time ago, but you're still here, which means you must deserve this in her mind. Fellas, learn to walk away. Learn to walk away when you're in a situation that there is absolutely no benefit for you and only downside. Your future, your self-respect hangs in the balance. Quick video today, fellas, but that's my time. Like the video, comment down below, share with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.